Hello friends, welcome to my channel Dynamite Knowledge on Computer. So today we are going to start with the topic circular queue. In this video we will cover the introduction of circular queue, application of circular queue and the insertion algorithm of circular queue. Okay, so what is a circular queue? Circular queue is also a linear data structure. It also follows the principle of FIFO, first in first out. Okay, but here it does not end up at the last position. After last, it again starts from the first position. That is, the last position is connected back with the first position. Hence, it behaves like a circular data structure. Okay, so in a standard or linear queue, what happens is that there we will not be able to insert new elements into the queue unless and until the queue is again reset to 0, even if we call the dequeue function several times also. But in case of circular queue, it gives us that advantage to insert new element in that particular position or location also, where previously one element was present, now it is deleted and the place is vacant. Okay, that's why in case of standard or linear queue, the rebuffering problem occurs for each of the dequeue operation, which can be avoided to some extent in case of the circular queue. That's why this circular queue is also called as a ring buffer. Okay, so now here I have taken a circular queue of size 4, lower bound is 0 and upper bound is 3. Initially, now you know already that in a front head from DQ operation is carried out from front head and the NQ operation is carried out from the rear tail side. Okay, so initially the head and the tail point to the same position or location. Okay, now here I have just taken a sample, so D1 is already present. Now suppose I increment this tail by 1 position. Okay, so when the tail is incremented by means plus 1, then to that particular position or location where the tail pointer is pointing, there the next element, that is new element, will be inserted. Okay, sometimes what happens, the head becomes greater than tail. The head becomes greater than tail. This condition occurs when the dequeue function is called several times. Okay, then when I go on inserting D3, D4, then that is plus 1, then again plus 1. So now my tail will be here. So now what will happen is that now the tail has reached to the end of the queue. Okay, so now it should get reinitialized to 0. That is, the tail should not exceed the size of the queue. It should again get reinitialized to 0. So we should keep in our mind locked that while operating with the circular queue, that the tail and the head pointer should not exceed the size of the queue. For that, there is a formula, that is to make the circular queue go round and round. That is, head is equal to head plus 1 modulus operator max size and tail is equal to tail plus 1 modulus operator max size. Okay, so now finding the size, here there is a small formula, that is tail, when tail becomes greater than equals to head, then size is equal to tail minus head plus 1, and when head becomes greater than tail, then size is equal to max size of the queue minus head minus tail plus 1. Okay, so this was the introduction part. Now what is the application of the circular queue? You might have seen, that means we can take one real life implementation, that is when the traffic signal system is controlled by a computer. That can be an example of the circular queue, and then task scheduling in CPU, memory management, these all are the applications of the circular queue. Okay, now the most important thing in circular queue is its algorithm. Okay, so now in this video I will cover with the insertion algorithm. Insert queue max size front rear value, these are the parameters taken. So if queue front equals to queue rear plus 1 modulus operator max size. See, here I have taken a queue that is size 4, lower bound 0, upper bound 3. So here the front, we know that now this queue is totally empty. So let's assume f is equal to minus 1, rear is equal to minus 1, front f, rear r. Both of them are minus 1. So here in the first step, front is equal to rear plus 1 modulus operator max size. According to this formula, here front minus 1 equals to rear minus 1 plus 1 modulus operator, max size, what is the max size? 4. Okay, so here minus 1 is equal to here 0 modulus operator 4. So this will be minus 1 is equal to here 0. So minus 1 is not equals to 0. So this condition will become false. So when this condition is false, it will not execute the if statement. So now in the second statement, q front equals to minus 1, q rear equals to minus 1. Yes, this condition is true. So let's assume that 10 is inserted. So now this will be executed, 10 is inserted. So now f becomes 0, rear becomes 0. Now both front and rear are pointing to the index position 0. Okay, now in the next step, again this will be executed. This is step 2 here again. So now at the step 2, front is 0, that equals to what is rear? Rear is also 0 plus 1 modulus operator, what is max size? 4. So now it will be 1 modulus operator 4. So 0 is equal to this is 1. Now 0 is not equals to 1, no. So this condition will again become false. So this will be executed. Here f is minus 1, rear is minus 1. Is it true? No, this will be also false because front is 0 and rear is also 0. So now the third condition will be executed. So here rear is equal to, what is the original rear now? 0 plus 1 modulus operator max size. So here 1 modulus operator 4. So here it will be rear is equal to 1. So now this rear will be incremented by 1 position and it will point to here. So now this step q rear is equal to value, let's say 20 is inserted. Similarly, when we go to the step 3, again we will check front is already 0, that equals to rear is 1 plus 1 modulus operator 4. So now it will be 2 modulus operator 4. So now rear will so here 2 modulus operator 4. So it will be 0 equals to, it will be 2. So 0 is not equal to 2. So again this condition will be false. So this will be then checked. Now this condition will also become false because f is equal to 0 and r is equal to 1. Okay, so now this will be executed. R is equal to, original R is 1 plus 1 modulus operator 4. So it is 2 modulus operator 4. So it will be 2. So R is equal to 2. So now here see, R is incremented by 1 position. Now R is pointing here and let's say 30 is inserted here. After that in step 4, again it will check 0 equals to, this time R is how much? This time R is 2 plus 1 modulus operator max size. So here 0 is equal to 3 modulus operator max size. So 0 is equal to 3. So this condition will be false. So this will be executed. So again it will come as false because f is 0 and r is 2. So again this will be executed. So it is 2 plus 1 modulus operator 4. So it is 3 modulus operator 4. So now our value becomes 3. So now here see, let's say 40 is inserted over here. Okay, now there will be a catch. What is it? See, again the first condition will be executed. So now when it is executed as f equals to r plus 1 modulus operator max size, here what will happen? F value is 0 equals to r value is 3 plus 1 modulus operator 4. So here now 0, 4 modulus operator 4. So 0 is equal to 0. This condition now becomes true. So again if we call the NQ operation, then it will give us the overflow condition. Okay. So there we go. We have completed with the insertion algorithm. Now keep in your mind locked that in case of circular queue, it gives us that advantage to insert more elements into the queue. For several times we can call the NQ operation also, but that many times we have to call the DQ operation too. because in case of circular queue we can insert new elements in that particular position or location also, where previously one element was present, now it is deleted and that place is vacant. That will be more clear to you when we will study about the dequeue function, that is dequeue algorithm, deletion algorithm. So my next video will be on the topic, that is deletion algorithm of circular queue. Till then, very soon I will come with it. So till then, stay gold and thank you.